Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. If you've been to an airport recently, you've probably noticed a massive shift going down right at the lounge reception desk. Today, we're completely untangling the complicated, ever-changing web of airport lounge access for 2026. We're going to look at the new rules, those strict spending criteria banks are throwing at us for both credit and debit cards, and exactly how you can still bypass the chaos of the main terminal without, wasting your hard-earned money. So, is free airport lounge access actually dead? Look, if you've been turned away at a lounge recently or opened your banking app only to find your complimentary visit slash to absolute zero, you're probably feeling pretty frustrated. And hey, you're definitely not alone. That golden age where practically any basic credit card got you a free meal and a quiet seat before your flight, yeah, it's officially over. But the perk itself isn't totally dead. It's just, well, fundamentally evolved. Here's our roadmap for today. We're covering the end of free access, decoding those confusing lounge networks, avoiding the dreaded terminal trap, picking the best cards for access, and finally, doing the ROI math. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the end of free access, and why banks are seriously tightening their belts. To really understand how we got here, we kind of need to look at the last decade. Think back 10 years ago. Lounge access was this ultra-exclusive perk, reserved strictly for top-tier premium cards and elite frequent flyers. Then, about 5 years ago, it totally devolved into this mass-market freebie just to attract card signups. Literally, entry-level cards were throwing in lounge visits left and right. But then came the massive surge in post-COVID travel. Lounges were absolutely packed, with lines spilling way out into the concourse. And the banks, they were stuck footing these absolutely massive subsidy bills for every single customer walking through those doors. So now, here in 2026, we've officially entered the strict minimum spend era. The days of keeping a card in your sock drawer and only dusting it off for a free airport buffet, yeah, those are gone for sure. As Live from a Lounge noted in the Economic Times, they perfectly captured it. Many customers signed up purely for lounge access. That model stopped making financial sense. So the crucial point is that banks are now aggressively classifying us based on profitability. It's just a numbers game now. If you're actively spending on retail purchases, they'll happily subsidize your airport privileges. If not, poof, your perks disappear. Let's look at exactly what these new hurdles actually look like in practice. First up, we're seeing major quarterly spending thresholds. Take ICICI Bank, for example. They now require you to spend around 35,000 rupees in the previous quarter on their cards just to unlock complimentary visits for the current quarter. Wild, right? Second, there's a massive shift away from just swiping your physical card at the door, moving instead to digital vouchers generated on bank-specific apps. And lastly, absolutely zero access for inactive cards. You literally have to use the card in your everyday life to reap those travel benefits. All right, moving into Section 2, decoding lounge networks or knowing exactly what gets you in where. Once you actually unlock that access, you need to know which specific door it opens. Honestly, the alphabet soup of lounge networks is one of the biggest reasons travelers get turned away at the airport feeling super embarrassed. Let's define the heavy hitters, Priority Pass and Dragon Pass. These are independent networks. That means they're totally distinct from airline-specific lounges like your Delta Sky Club or American Airlines Admirals Club. Just having one of these passes doesn't mean you can stroll into literally any lounge you see. It specifically gives you access to a curated network of third-party, independent lounges around the world. Now, there's a stark difference between domestic and international access. Domestic access is usually hard-coded straight to your card network, Visa, MasterCard, or RuPay. But international access, that's a whole different beast. It's routed through separate third-party programs like Priority Pass, Dragon Pass, LoungeKey, or DreamFolks. And here is the kicker. These international programs come with their own entirely separate usage caps and rules. It's like a giant puzzle you have to solve before you even pack your bags. Which brings us to Section 3, the terminal trap. Having the right card, but the completely wrong terminal. Oh man, this is perhaps the single most frustrating issue in modern travel right now. The golden rule of 2026 is brutally simple. No airside connections equals no lounge access. An airside connection just means you can walk between terminals without ever leaving the secure zone. If your airport doesn't have that, say your lounge is over in Terminal A but your flight departs from Terminal B, accessing that lounge means exiting the airport, taking some tram or bus, and then re-clearing those absolutely grueling TSA or security lines all over again. Let's look at JFK Airport in New York as our prime case study here. Terminal 4 is completely packed with premium options. You've got the Amex Centurion, Chase Sapphire, and Capital One lounges. But if you're flying American Airlines out of Terminal 8, your $895 Amex Platinum card for that T4 Centurion lounge is practically useless. Think about it. You'd have to exit security, ride the AirTrain, go through T4 security, use the lounge, exit T4, take the AirTrain back to T8, and clear security again. Unless you have like a massive 4-hour layover, it's a total trap. And listen, this isn't just a JFK problem. It is a global issue. Take Mumbai, for instance. There's a strict physical divide between T1 and T2, and absolutely no free movement after your security check-in. So if your domestic flight leaves from T1, your fancy T2 lounge access does not help you one bit. Over at Newark in New Jersey, the trap is slightly different. There are actually no traditional Priority Pass lounges at all. Although, to be fair, Amex is finally changing the game there with a brand new Centurion lounge opening in Terminal A in 2026. Moving right along to Section 4, Best Cards for Lounge Access. This is all about matching your wallet to your actual travel habits. Let's start with the US market. And this brilliantly illustrates why your card choice absolutely must align with your home airport. Look, if you fly Delta or travel heavily out of Newark's Terminal A, that $895 Amex Platinum is an absolute powerhouse. But if you want a lower annual fee, the Capital One Venture X at $395 gives you fantastic Priority Pass access, perfect for the budget-conscious traveler. And if you're a United loyalist based in Newark, the United Club card makes the most sense, hands down. Don't just blindly apply for a flashy card, you have to match it to your departure terminal. Now let's look at the Indian market because this is where we really see these new spending rules in full effect. You've got premium options like the Axis Atlas and SBI Card Miles Elite, offering robust domestic and international entries, but you really have to read the fine print here. Axis requires a 50,000 INR spend over the previous 3 months. Even a card like the Federal Bank Scapia, which is technically lifetime free, or many premium bank debit cards, well, they now demand a strict 10,000 to 15,000 INR monthly minimum spend before those lounge doors open for you. There is literally no such thing as a truly free lunch anymore, guys. Finally, Section 5, doing the ROI math. Is that hefty annual fee actually worth it? Let's stop looking at lounge access as this magical VIP perk and start treating it strictly as a math equation to make sure you're coming out on top financially. $708. That is the average yearly amount a frequent traveler, someone flying roughly once a month, spends if they just buy basic $59 day passes and overpriced airport food out of pocket. To put that into perspective, suddenly a steep annual fee on a credit card doesn't sound quite so crazy if it completely eliminates this entire expense, right? So, here's how to build your own personalized strategy. If you travel only 1 or 2 times a year, paying a massive annual fee makes absolutely zero mathematical sense. Just buy the $50 to $100 day pass and call it a day. But look at the middle tier. If you take 3 to 6 trips a year, a mid-tier card pays for itself really quickly. You pretty much break even after just 3 visits. And if you're taking 8 or more trips, well, that's where those premium cards with high fees actually yield a massive return on investment through travel credits and unlimited lounge access. Okay, here is your highly actionable game plan. First, audit your travel. Sit down, count your yearly flights, and identify your primary hubs. Second, do the ROI math. Compare those day pass costs against the card's annual fee minus any travel credits you'd actually use. Third, avoid the terminal trap by ensuring your new card physically matches your home terminal. And fourth, actually, this is huge, so listen up, activate separately. Your credit card does not automatically activate your Priority Pass or Dragon Pass in the background. No way. You have to log in and manually enroll before your trip, or you're going to be standing outside that lounge looking very, very disappointed. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. Based on your specific home hub and how often you actually fly, is your current credit card actually costing you money at the airport? Take a really hard look at your wallet this week. You might be paying an annual fee for a lounge you can't even access, or you might be wasting money on airport food when a new card could literally save you hundreds. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Get out there, do the math, and travel smarter.